So today is Valentine's Day. I'm going live a little bit early because I have other things planned for the day. So I hope that's all right with you. You, 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 you. Today I'm going to be using the Aquarian Tarot to do the water sign readings. That's going to be Cancer, Scorpio, and the sign of Pisces. I'm also going to be using the Lunacy deck again. With the 3 parts. Which is the Major Arcana, the Tarot Major Arcana, the Moon Cycles, and the Lunar Mansions. This is the Lunar Mansion for today. Al Jabha. Hi, Super Queen Bee. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming by. And to clear the space in advance of the reading, I'm going to use my Florida water. This is for soothing the skin, but it has a lot of wonderful herbal contents. So there's things in here like licorice extract and peony and snake gall and honeysuckle. And this is just to raise the vibration. Of the space so we can do the reading. Hi, Captain Holtz. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. Happy Valentine's Day. So the first sign I'm going to read for is Cancer. All right, Cancer. So if you would, just relax. And you can take some deep breaths if you want. Breathe in deeply and imagine your body being filled with the divine white light of Source. And then, as you exhale, you can just sigh out any tension you've been holding on to, anything that's no longer serving you. And allow anything that you'd like to address in the reading to just float gently up to the forefront of your mind. Some good minor arcana. Lots of pentacles for you today, Cancer. Yes, okay. And retrieve this text. So let me just write down your timestamp, Cancer, really quickly before we get started. And then I'll start with this deck. We have the Fool card, which in this deck I call it's called Emanation. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Sorry about that. Let's see. There we go. Beautiful. So you can see this figure. It's a very primitive construction. No arms. Just coming into the form of being. This card, Emanation, is associated with the elemental correspondence of air. So that also ties in Uranus. It also ties in the air signs. And we have the letter Alpha here, which is the number 1. It's about beginnings, about the start of a new cycle, and about coming into form, coming into an actual shape or form. We have the moon cycle of, oh, come on, babe, don't do this to me today. We have the moon cycle of the waning crescent. So this is the very tail end of the previous cycle, going into this new cycle with the emanation. And the lunar mansion that I have for you today is Al-Simak. Al-Simak is the unarmed. You can see this is the sheaf of wheat that is in the hand of the constellation of Virgo. And the themes of this lunar mansion are severance, breaking apart of restrictive or inappropriate bonds, and dissolution. So can also be a dog holding its own tail in its mouth. But it looks very much like what's going on at this time. We're at the end of this cycle, and we're going to have this cycle end, and some things are going to fall apart. Some things are there might be breaking of bonds, depending on what kind of situations you might be in. It could be like ending a job, probably on your own terms, or it could be the end of a relationship. Not necessarily, though. It could be the end of an oppressive situation for you as well. And that's going to open up the room for this brand new beginning to take place with emanation. So let's look now at the Celtic cross spread. In the past for you, Cancer, we have the Two of Swords, and the Two of Swords is showing up in reverse. So this tells me that you did make a choice about something in the past. And now that choice has been made, and we are going to be looking at the consequences of that. Good consequences and bad consequences. So we have some multiples of 3, and they are in the suit of Pentacles. We have this 6 of Pentacles. This is somebody weighing out the ebb and flow, the money coming in and the money going out. And there being overall a natural order to that it's not necessarily always balanced, but there's always kind of this natural order there. And because this card is in the upright, we can see that more money is coming in for you at this time than is going out. That's reinforced by this 9 of Pentacles, which is crossing the 6 of Pentacles. It's a very good energy to have these multiples of 3 in the suit of Pentacles. The 9 of Pentacles, this is someone who's very financially stable and has financial freedom. And typically in the 9 of Pentacles, this person has a bird here. The bird represents a certain amount of freedom, but also think about the kind of people who raise birds, who practice falconry. This looks a bit like a peacock or an ornamental type of bird that one might have in a garden. We see some grapes in the background representing prosperity. So the 9 of Pentacles is a very good card for your financial situation at this time. So now we're going to look down at the MMCLI. When I do the Celtic cross spread, I imagine that the 12 houses are laid out on top of that. So down at the cusp of the 3rd and 4th houses is the MMCLI. And this talks about the foundations upon which everything in your goal or destiny that we're going to look at in the midheaven, everything that is based upon. And the card that we have down in the MMCLI is the two of Pentacles. So the 2 of Pentacles is a lot like the 6 of Pentacles in that we're looking at the balance of our energies. So together, these are very good energies showing that everything is coming into balance for you, that money in is going to be greater than money out, but also like balancing a checkbook, paying off debts, things like that would be represented by the 2 of Pentacles. And here in the future, we have the King of Cups. So Cancer, this could be your energy here in the reading. So with these cards that we had seen, like reaching solvency, for example, that things might be coming from together is something about this card, but think about that also in terms of financial solvency, that it might be about getting a bunch of bills paid off or having everything finalized out financially with the situation so that you are able to dissolve it if need be. And that might be going on for some of you Cancers at this time. Here in the future, we have this King of Cups, and that can be your energy, Cancer, because King of Cups would be a water sign energy. This card is in the upright. This is somebody who actively nurtures and cares for others. This can be a mentor. It can be somebody who provides for others, feeding them, clothing them, putting a roof over their head. Doesn't necessarily need to be, though. But generally a very fatherly or avuncular energy. Doesn't have to be a man, though. It's kind of a masculine energy, but mostly it's like an actively nurturing energy. And up in the midheaven. So we started out down here, getting everything into balance. And when we come up into the midheaven, we have the card of the Hierophant. I wonder if the light's not hitting my cards. Just so. Let me see. I might try to fix my lighting in a second if it keeps doing that. The Hierophant is somebody who can be a spiritual leader. They can act as a go-between for the common man and the higher power and deliver those messages. The Hierophant also represents the status quo. So it could also be that moving into the goal or destiny period in your life, that you'll end up attaining a lot of these kind of milestones of success that a lot of us have kind of let fall by the wayside over the past couple of years because of the current events. And this would be associated potentially with this card of emanation, because the way that I did the major arcana in this deck, they're more associated with Gnostic scripture. So while this would be the Fool card for this deck, it's also a little bit different. It's much more about these new beginnings and coming into form and taking shape. Coming into form and taking shape. So that might be something that comes together for you. I do see you stepping into more of a leadership role here. And that being a result of whatever this choice was in the past, you were able to get your finances into order. And so you brought one cycle to an end and have begun a new one that is going to put you in a leadership position. Thank you, Cancer. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. And now we're going to move on to the sign of Scorpio. So, Scorpio, if you would like, just kind of gently allow any concerns that you have to bubble up into the forefront of your thoughts. And I'm going to get your cards shuffled. If anything is stressing you out at this time, you can, if you want, take some nice, deep, cleansing breaths. Inhale the divine white light source. And then as you exhale, just sigh out any stress or tension or anything, Scorpio, that you no longer want to be carrying around with you. Just allow it to kind of melt away. And don't worry about harboring it in your life. Allow it to be returned to source, that it might be transmuted. Wow, okay, that's powerful, Scorpio. Oh, interesting. And I'm going to pull these other cards. This card? Yes. Okay. Ooh, another waning gibbous. Another waning energy. This one. Okay. Oh, interesting. Interesting. And this one. Yes. Okay. Wonderful. So, Scorpio, I'm just going to take a moment to write down your timestamp here. Great. Then we're going to talk about these cards that I've drawn for you. The first one, this is the Hierophant card for this deck. We see this main figure surrounded by assorted clergy. This is the letter Su, which is the number 6 in the Coptic alphanumeric system. And this card is associated with the astrological sign of Taurus, which is a fellow fixed sign, Scorpio. So the Hierophant can be about the established status quo, for better or for worse. It can also be about acting as an intermediary between the higher power and the masses, and therefore inserting oneself as kind of a spiritual leader. So we got that with the Cancer reading as well. We're looking at waning gibbous energy with this as well. So this is right after the full moon. So that could be happening in a few days' time from now. This could be a time frame card. The waning gibbous could also mean that this is something that you've kind of reached a peak in doing, and the energy might have tapered off just a little bit. The lunar mansion that we're looking at today for you, Scorpio, is Baten al-Hut. So this is the final lunar mansion, and it is the belly of the fish, but the indicator star, I believe, is Beta Andromedae. And so is located within the constellation of Andromeda. So it's that star right there. But Baten al-Hut is about realization of potentials, cohesion, and gathering together, culmination, attainment, joy, and harvesting. So kind of thematically opposed to what we were looking at with Alasimak, which is in the sign of Virgo, and we were looking at dissolution and things like that for Cancers. This is the book, by the way, that I use for this, which is by Christopher Warnock. If you're looking to get into the lunar mansions, I highly recommend it. It's a very good book. Here in the past, Scorpio, we had 9 of Swords. Now this card is upright, so I feel like you're still very concerned about a lot of these things, a lot of these issues that are showing up in the guise of these swords here. And this anxiety might be affecting you in the current situation. Here in the place of the significator, that's you, Scorpio. We have the World card, And the World card has all 4 of the fixed signs upon it. So actually, Scorpio energy is represented by this little eagle up here. Scorpio can be represented by eagle energy as well as the scorpion. So the World card is about culmination and completion of cycles, a successful completion of cycles. And you can also think about the World card because this is elemental earth energy and also associated with Saturn. So this is establishment, and this can represent the culmination of manifestation that these things which have started out in the upper worlds have been brought down and made concrete at this time. And along with this comes an offer. We have the Page of Cups here, representing an offering. So this Page of Cups has this cup with this fish in it, and the fish can be seen as that kind of, not necessarily like a wish fulfillment, but that thing that is desired, that is wanted, that is being brought into the physical world through manifestation. So, Page of Cups, you could be getting an offer from somebody, and it could be related to love. It could be related to business. It could be a new job. A lot of times, Page of Pentacles will show up for a new job, but Page of Cups can be a job offer as well. Here in the Imam Silai, so I like to imagine that I have the 12 houses laid out on top of my Celtic cross spread. So down at the bottom here, the cusp of the 3rd and 4th houses is the Imam Silai, and that represents the origins and foundations upon which your future is going to be built. Excuse me. So what we have there is the King of Rods. This is excellent for creative energies. So the King of Rods could be an ad executive, but could also be a rock star. It's a very versatile, creative person. Air of fire energy. So we have this fire, and it's being sustainably stoked by oxygen. We have the discernment, but we also have the potency. So this King of Wands, is a very positive card for you to have at this time, Scorpio. You might have fire sign energies in your chart. And this could be also associated with this spiritual leadership that we see here with the Hierophant card. So in the future, we have the Justice card, and this card is showing up in the reverse, but that means in future positions that the potential is there for justice to be had. So there's the potential for everything to get evened out. And it could be justice in your favor. It could just be an evening out of things that need to be regulated also. But just because it's in the reverse doesn't necessarily mean that it will be justice against you. It just means that the potential is there for justice, and it's going to depend on how everything plays out. Justice is about balancing too, so it's not just about what we think of as happening in a courtroom. It can also have to do with situations that are unbalanced, normalizing and equalizing. And here in the midheaven, So this is going to be the goal or destiny. We have the moon card for you, Scorpio. So some of you, like myself, might have a moon in Scorpio. The moon is associated with Pisces, and it is also associated with poorly lit, difficult to discern paths, such that the way forward for you, you have a lot of flexibility here as the King of Wands, or with the King of Wands if this is a collaborator. But it also means that there's a lot of possibility. And look how similar their faces are. They're pretty much pointed in the same direction. So this person might be a little bit difficult to read, Scorpio. But of course, being a Scorpio, I'm sure that's part of the intrigue for you, right? That this person is difficult to read. I think you'll do just fine navigating this path. There is the potential for much more reward in a complicated path than in a simple one. The moon card also, and especially because it's upright here, can have to do with creative pursuits, which can be very difficult to kind of navigate. It's not the kind of thing that has clear linear progress, right? There's kind of like ups and downs, and then you feel like you've backtracked for quite a ways, and then you can shoot forward out of nowhere. So, for those of you who are in creative fields, Scorpios, that's going to be very good. And remember, we do have like this kind of a culminating energy for you this week with Bat and Alhut. So remember this World card and the Page of Cups. This might culminate in an offer for you. And it might have to do with spiritual leadership with the Hierophant. So it could have to do with creativity and music, and also potentially spiritual leadership. Very good, Scorpio, very good. That is going to conclude the Scorpio reading for this week. And now we're going to be moving on to the sign of Pisces. So Pisces, I'm just going to start shuffling your cards. And if you would, just kind of allow any things that you'd like to know about to float to the forefront of your thoughts. Any hopes and dreams that you want to see fulfilled. If there are any things that are stressing you out, just if you'd like to kind of breathe through them. So you can inhale and imagine your body being filled with the divine white light of Source. And then just sigh out any of that tension and stress. And know that it is being returned to Source, that it might be transmuted. Pisces got the Page of Pentacles. Nice. Oh, cool. Very cool. And oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right, so Pisces, I'm going to write down your timestamp really quickly. we can get started. So we are dealing with the energy of the last quarter moon. We will be going into that in maybe like a week or so, because we're about to have the full moon like tomorrow or the next day. I think it's coming on Wednesday. And along with this last quarter moon, we have the Magician card. There we go. So the Magician here, I called it Heka, which is also the Egyptian word for power. And you can see that he has mastery over the 4 suits of the tarot and the 4 elements, the pentacles, the chalices, the wands. He's gripping the wand in his hand, and the swords. And this is associated with the alchemical power of Mercury. That would be conjunctio in the 10th house for those of you who are playing geomancy bingo at home. So the letter associated with this would be beta, and that's the number 2. And then we have the lunar mansion of Saad al-Bula. So this is, I think, fortune of the swallower. Let's see. I want to get it right. Yeah, the good fortune of the swallower. And things that go along with this lunar mansion would be devouring force, swallowing up, diminishing, devastation, wasting, and decrease. So that can be negative if we're talking about your finances, or we're talking about things that you're trying to hold on to. But inversely, if it's things like disease, or if you want to lose weight, or if you want fewer problems, it can also be good to condense and simplify things. So in this particular case, there might be alchemizing, where you're taking many ingredients and you're turning them into a manifestation. So that's possible. We're also looking at Saad al-Bula in the last quarter moon. So that's going to be when the moon is waning toward the new moon. So the light of the moon decreasing. So there's overall a decreasing energy at this time for your reading, Pisces, but I don't think it's going to be in a bad sense. Here in the past for you, we have the 7 of Cups reversed. And the 7 of Cups, you can see some of these things are great. We've got flowers, we've got rainbows, we've got candy and butterflies. We also have severed heads. We've got the guy from the Black Sabbath album cover and cobras. So it's kind of a mixed bag. What are you going to get? This period of your life, I think you're leaving behind you, Pisces. So it's not necessarily bad, but it's a little bit chaotic and unpredictable. And what we have here in the current situation of the significator, that's you, Pisces. We have the 4 of Swords. This is a card of rest and relaxation. So you could be rejuvenating yourself. You could be taking some time for self-care. You could be taking a break from social media. You could be taking a break from partying, all kinds of things like that. And the crossing card that we have for this is the Knight of Swords. So you might even be taking a break from social issues. The Knight of Swords is about a binary type of discernment where you're looking at this is good, this is bad. It can be associated with cancel culture. Getting angry about things that you watch on the news. That's very much polarized Knight of Swords energy. It is a bit of a polarized and polarizing card. So it could be that you had been very involved in some social issues, protesting and things like that. And for the time being, you are taking more time for yourself, to care for yourself. So this could also be part of this decrease that we're seeing here. Now, Saad al-Bula is not necessarily associated with this wand. I want to clarify that what I'm pointing to on the card are the stars within his hand. This is the hand of the constellation Aquarius. So he's holding a staff, and the indicator stars for this lunar mansion are located in his hand. So technically, it's still within the realm of Capricorn. So that you have to think about this in the context of the night sky and understand that it's not a hand holding a staff. So we're not really going to look at that symbolism. But we would be looking at decrease of complication in your life. Down here in the MMCLI. So I like to imagine that the 12 houses wheel is laid out on top of my Celtic cross spreads. And down here at the bottom, we're looking at the MMCLI, which is the cusp of the 3rd and 4th houses, and is going to tell us about the origins and foundations of our destiny and future. And it looks like, Pisces, that some of you are getting a job offer at this time, or an offer that could increase your resources. This could even be a side stream of income. It could be a friend of yours saying, hey, I think you should invest in X, Y, or Z, and you do it, and it ends up paying off quite a bit. But this would be a very nascent employee type of energy. So this wouldn't necessarily be starting your own business, but it very well could. For entrepreneurship, you would like to see more like a Queen of Pentacles energy, possibly a 6 of Pentacles energy or a 7 of Pentacles energy. So this would be starting from scratch, basically, if you're starting your own business. The card is upright, so that is a very good indicator for that. But it could also be an indicator of going to work for somebody else as well. Here in the future, this is another example of where it is good to have the fortune of the glutton. We have the 10 of Wands, and it's reversed. So this is about burdens and oppression. And if you look at the card itself, he's carrying all these wands, right? Really burdened by carrying all these sticks. And you don't even know if he's carrying these sticks because he needs firewood, or if he's carrying them because he is indentured to somebody else. So in the future, because that card is reversed, I think there's the potential for you to cast off a good deal of burdens. This might be in simplifying your own life, and that would be very much aligned with this fortune of the glutton. And it could be something that you're actively trying to manifest right now. Sorry about the focus, you guys. There we go. I like to have it on autofocus so I don't have to be touching my camera, but it does make it a little difficult. So this Page of Pentacles opportunity could be something that you have actively manifested into your life.
possibly from all of these options in the past.
And Pisces, I think you win the water readings this week because the card that you get in the goal or destiny position of the midheaven is the Chariot.
So, this is a card associated with your fellow water sign Cancer. It's very much about victory. It's very much about mobility. You can even see here on the epaulets, he's got these faces. They almost look like little moons, right? So the moon is Cancer's ruling luminary. And so anything that you're trying to move forward, obviously, it's easier to move if you shed a lot of burdens and get rid of things you no longer need. So you might be going through that process in the near future so that you can attain this victory and have the mobility that you desire to move forward.
Great job, Pisces. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who joined me here today for the Water Signs Tarot reading for the week of February 14th. This is a timeless reading, so if you find it later, this was done on Valentine's Day of 2022, but I trust that it will apply to you and be relevant whenever you find it. And I'm going to go now over to the members side of the channel and do some crystal scrying with this beautiful piece of Icelandic spar. So if that interests you, you are invited. But your support is appreciated. However